What's up y'all, it's Jamie from More Games, your one stop for MMORPG tips, tricks, and information. If you've clicked on this video, then you're interested in trying out Final Fantasy XIV, the award-winning MMORPG. Today I want to go over 7 things you need to know about Final Fantasy XIV. But before we get started, it would really mean a lot to me if you smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Because of you, this channel gets to grow and this video can reach other people who are also interested in Final Fantasy XIV. So thank you all so much, and let's get started. The first thing you need to know about Final Fantasy is that it is a subscription-based game, meaning you do need to buy the base game, the expansions, as well as the monthly subscriptions. You do get a free trial with the game, but unlike other MMORPGs which give you 30-day trials, Square Enix has allowed new players to experience the base game, A Realm Reborn, as well as the first expansion pack, Heavensward. Now, as soon as you do complete that, your subscription will kick in, and you can manage that off the MOG station on the Final Fantasy website. Now, the subscription is $14.99 for 30 days, but there are other options on the website for you to explore. The second thing you need to know is party makeup. Final Fantasy follows the Trinity system, in which you have a tank, a healer, and a DPS. Now, the party makeup will change throughout the game depending on the instance. The most common sort of party makeup you'll encounter is called the Light Party, which consists of 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPSs. The roles are rather simple. A tank's main purpose is to hold the attention of the mobs, also called enmity and hate, while the DPS damages them down to 0. A healer's role is plain and simple: heal the party and provide DPS and other support on their downtime. Now, certain instances in the game will see the party makeup change from a light party to a normal party. This consists of 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 5 DPSs. In an instance like this, you have 1 tank who is known as the main tank, and the other one is the off tank. The off tank's role is to be on standby, providing DPS on its downtime until there needs to be a tank swap, in which the main tank and the off tank will switch roles. An off tank's job is also to pick up any additional mobs that can appear on the battlefield. Number 3 on the list is stat settings. One of the main staples of an RPG or MMORPG is the ability to customize your character to fit your playstyle. Setting stats is usually where this occurs, allowing the player to set certain abilities the way they like, allotting points to strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and so forth. Setting stats is what lets you build your character to your liking. Well, not in Final Fantasy. They've actually done away with stat settings, relieving that pressure on you. Now when you level up, your stats are automatically allocated for you. The only real control you have over your character now is by setting material into your armors and weapons. So gone are the days of setting your strength, dexterity, and wisdom in Final Fantasy. Now players focus on other stats such as tenacity, spell speed, and determination. This is meant to level the playing field between casual players and hardcore players. The main point is for the player to explore the different jobs and classes in the game and just have fun. Number 4 on our list is the story, and Final Fantasy XIV is extremely story heavy. Now, not all the game is fully voiced, meaning you will have to read the chat box from time to time, and it can get a bit tedious. Not every cutscene is skippable, forcing you to watch the story play out. A Realm Reborn has been streamlined with some content cut out, allowing the player to progress through the base game quickly and into the expansion. It may take a lot of reading, but I promise you the payoff is well, and I would highly suggest you don't skip any cutscenes. I know I was guilty of it, but then it really hurt me later on because a lot of the payoff in the story comes down to the details in Final Fantasy. Once you make it past the base game though, the story does get a whole lot better in Heavensward, Stormblood alright, and then once again the story picks up again in Shadowbringers. Now I know you may feel like you need to skip those cutscenes, but please, I promise you it will pay off. Just stick with it. Number 5 on the list is gameplay mechanics. Each dungeon and boss will have their own set of mechanics that players need to complete in order to clear the instance. Now, some of the most common mechanics are AoE pool mechanics, the ground will start to glow a certain color, however you have it set. With me, it's orange. I think it's orange in the base game. As soon as you see that, just move out of it to avoid taking damage. The other most common seen mechanic is the stack mechanic, where you will see 4 orange arrows pointing inwards on a character. As soon as this happens, the whole party needs to stack on that one character to share damage. Doing this will ensure that the party survives and the healers can shield and heal you through it. Number 6 on our list is duty roulettes. Make it a habit of completing your daily roulettes. They provide bonus experience for your characters if they're not at max level. Doing these roulettes will also grant you tokens that you can exchange for more powerful weapons and items. Each duty has its own reward, so please be aware of that as you're selecting your different duty. Additional bonuses will be given out depending on the role you choose when you enter these daily roulettes. You can see what role is needed when you queue up for a daily roulette by the indicator on the side, which usually is blue for tanks, green for healers, and red for DPSs. If you meet those requirements, you get additional bonuses granted to you. And the last thing on our list is multiple job classes per character. Unlike other MMORPGs where you have one job per one character, in Final Fantasy your character can experience every job in the game. Meaning you don't need to create multiple characters to experience different jobs. Unless you just like creating multiple characters, then create your heart away. This goes back to stat settings. This is kind of why they did away with setting stats, allowing you, the player, to try out every job in the game. So those are 7 things you need to know before you pick up your copy of Final Fantasy XIV. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you found this video useful, please hit that like button, and if you would like to see more Final Fantasy content, please hit subscribe. I try to release videos once every week and shorts at least 2 to 3 times a week. If you have any other questions that you have about Final Fantasy XIV, please feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I will try to get those questions answered for you as soon as I can. Thank you all so much for watching. Y'all take it easy.